Okay, this is really simple. There's 7 notes, A, B, C, all the way to G, and it starts over again. On a keyboard, you have your white keys, which are those notes. You have your black keys, which we'll get into in a minute. They're called sharps or flats. Keeping this real basic, you don't have to know anything about music theory to grasp this. Every time you look at the keyboard and you see 3 black keys, you can always know that this right here, between the last 2 of those 3, is your A. And that's basically all there is to it. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And it starts all over again. A. So theoretically, you could have a keyboard, you know, about this big, and that's good enough. So what are the ones in the middle? The sharps or flats? At one point they figured, well, we can break down a note in half, and there's another half note in the middle. So if this is A and this is B, the guy in the middle can be called, depending on which way you're going, it can either be A sharp or it could be B flat. One most important thing to grasp out of this is noticing that there's some places like here, 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 there is no sharp or flat between it. I guess they couldn't break the note down into anything distinct enough to actually be separated, and those places are E and F, B and C, E and F, and so on. So keep that in mind. There is no sharp or flat between E and F or B and C. Now let's look at the guitar. You first of all, to be able to find your notes, you have to know what these strings are without fretting a note. I always learn them from the outside in. The 2 outside strings being E, low E, and high E. Then the next 2 strings, A and B, simple enough to remember. Then the middle ones, D and G. Now on a guitar, obviously there's no white keys or black keys, so they all just run right into each other. Just remember, like I said, between B and C and E and F, there was a sharp or a flat, either one. So I recommend, if you don't want to learn music theory, at least learn the names of these notes and the one that's on the first string. So to figure out what note you're playing on that first string, you know it's the E. The very next one's going to be F. Remember, there's nothing between E or F. It's just E straight to F, then F sharp, then G sharp, then A sharp, then B, then straight to the C. There's no sharp or flat between B and C. C sharp, D, D sharp, and you're right back to E. Every time when you get to these double dotted 12th fret, you're going to be back to the same note you started with. This is A string, so you go A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, and right back to A. The reason why this much is important is because if you don't want to learn all the fancy guitar chords, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or you could just learn the E only, and this nut right here, this plastic nut, is like having your finger across there. That way you can come up to the next F. There's an F sharp, a G, G sharp, A. That's called the bar chord. Some people chop it down to just playing only these 2 notes. Wherever your finger is, 2 spots up, that's your power chord. Used in every rock song rhythm ever wrote, practically. One interesting thing is to note major chord. You can lift this one up and have a minor, or you can lift this one up and have a 7th. But if you know the notes on the first string, you can, and that's the only shape you know, you can play every chord ever made. Also, your leads will always start at that spot, the root spot. So if people are playing an A, you'd start your box pattern. If they're playing in B, C, so on and so on. Everyone usually starts by learning this blues pattern: 1 4 1 3 1 3 1 3 1 4 1 4, and they play it forwards and backwards. And then they get bored with it and they start going.